Moscow is the capital and largest city of Russia. The city stands on the Moskva River in central Russia, with a population estimated at 13.0 million residents within the city limits, over 17 million residents in the urban area, and over 21.5 million residents in the metropolitan area. The city covers an area of 2,511 square kilometers, 970 square miles, while the urban area covers 5,891 square kilometers, 2,275 square miles, and the metropolitan area covers over 26,000 square kilometers, 10,000 square miles. Moscow is among the world's largest cities, being the most populous city entirely in Europe, the largest urban and metropolitan area in Europe, and the largest city by land area on the European continent. As the historic core of Russia, Moscow serves as the home of numerous Russian artists, scientists, and sports figures due to the presence of its various museums, academic and political institutions, and theaters. The city is home to several UNESCO World Heritage Sites and is well known for its display of Russian architecture, particularly its historic Red Square, and buildings such as the St. Basil's Cathedral and the Moscow Kremlin, of which the latter serves as the seat of power of the government of Russia. Moscow is home to many Russian companies and numerous industries and is served by a comprehensive transit network, which includes 4 international airports, 10 railway terminals, a tram system, a monorail system, and most notably the Moscow Metro, the busiest metro system in Europe, and one of the largest rapid transit systems in the world. The city has over 40% of its territory covered by greenery, making it one of the greenest cities in Europe and the world. Christians form the majority of the city's population, most of whom adhere Russian Orthodox Church. The Patriarch of Moscow serves as the head of the church and resides in the Danilov Monastery. Moscow was called the city of 40 times 40 churches prior to 1917. Moscow is Russia's capital of Eastern Orthodox Christianity, which has been the country's traditional religion. Other religions practiced in Moscow include Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Yazidism, and Rodnovry. The Moscow Mufti Council claimed that Muslims numbered around 1.5 million of 10.5 million of the city's population in 2010. There are 4 mosques in the city. Moscow's architecture is world-renowned. Moscow is the site of St. Basil's Cathedral, with its elegant onion domes, as well as the Cathedral of Christ the Savior and the Seven Sisters. The first Kremlin was built in the middle of the 12th century. There are 96 parks and 18 gardens in Moscow, including 4 botanical gardens. There are 450 square kilometers, 170 square miles, of green zones besides 100 square kilometers, 39 square miles, of forests. Moscow is a very green city, if compared to other cities of comparable size in Western Europe and North America. This is partly due to a history of having green yards with trees and grass, between residential buildings. There are on average 27 square meters, 290 square feet, of parks per person in Moscow compared with 6 for Paris, 7.5 in London and 8.6 in New York. Near the new Tretyakov Gallery there is a sculpture garden, museum, often called the Graveyard of Fallen Monuments, that displays statues of the former Soviet Union that were removed from their place after its dissolution. Other attractions include the Moscow Zoo, a zoological garden in 2 sections, the valleys of 2 streams, linked by a bridge, with nearly 1,000 species and more than 6,500 specimens. Each year, the zoo attracts more than 1.2 million visitors. Many of Moscow's parks and landscaped gardens are protected natural environments. One of the most notable art museums in Moscow is the Tretyakov Gallery, which was founded by Pavel Tretyakov, a wealthy patron of the arts who donated a large private collection to the city. The Tretyakov Gallery is split into 2 buildings. The old Tretyakov Gallery, the original gallery in the Tretyakovskaya area on the south bank of the Moskva River, houses works in the classic Russian tradition. The works of famous pre-revolutionary painters, such as Ilya Repin, as well as the works of early Russian icon painters can be found here. Visitors can even see rare originals by early 15th century iconographer Andrei Rublev. The new Tretyakov Gallery, created in Soviet times, mainly contains the works of Soviet artists, as well as of a few contemporary paintings, but there is some overlap with the old Tretyakov Gallery for early 20th century art. The new gallery includes a small reconstruction of Vladimir Tatlin's famous monument to the Third International and a mixture of other avant-garde works by artists like Kazimir Malevich and Vasily Kandinsky. Socialist realism features can also be found within the halls of the new Tretyakov Gallery. Moscow will get its own branch of the Hermitage Museum in 2024, with authorities having agreed upon the final project, to be executed by Hani Rashid, co-founder of New York-based Asymptote Architecture, the same bureau that's behind the city's stock market building, the Pusan-based World Business Center Solomon Tower and the Strata Tower in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for staying with us for too long. See you next time with some interesting travel story.